Okay. So I am going to tell y'all a little story today. Just about some of the shenanigans I was doing last year when I started traveling. I think people have this image that like when I travel solo, like everything's just like, I'm walking on, like I'm not walking on sunshine. I'm just winging it, just like everybody else. I'm winging it. We're gonna do some makeup. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell you this story. And disclaimer, I know how stupid I was. I know this was not smart. I know that I could have died. I know that I could have been like trafficked. I know so many things could have went wrong. So I don't really need anybody on the video telling me like, why did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Like I've already accepted all that and I would never do this again. And I would definitely listen to my intuition next time. So please refrain from being mean in the comments, okay? This story starts last year, 2018 in, I want to say it starts in like November, December. That's when I found this little workaway experience on the platform. Love the platform to death. I think it's such a great idea. But this little situation was not a good idea. So pretty much what happened is I reached out because I went to Amsterdam for my birthday in that November, and I was like, I would love to come back and do a volunteer experience here. So I could not find anything in Amsterdam that met my skills. So I found something in another part of Holland. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. You know, if I want to go to Amsterdam one weekend, I can just come back. If I want to do this, if I want to go here, like, it's whatever. Holland is Holland, and it's not that big. So I found a experience in the south of Holland in a city called Maastricht. And pretty much it was an opportunity to work at a yoga studio as receptionist and also to like yoga teaching training and then also become a massage therapist. And I was like, those are skills that I would love to have. So this sounds like it's right up my alley. It sounds very like eye-opening and it sounds very me. So I reached out to the person and there was no response for a long time. And I was like, cool, so whatever. Like, I don't plan on leaving immediately. Like, I just want to start planning and just kind of setting up my big backpacking adventure schedule. So I reached out to the guy, and on his profile, it says, like, you know, this is what you'll be doing. This is the family business. Like, me and my sister run the studio together, and this is what we need. So the profile was very comprehensive. Like, they didn't really leave many details out to be figured out. So I even looked at the most important part for me was like, what is included? Like, do I need to pay for my meals every day? Because that's probably not going to be feasible for my budget. Do I need to pay for like a hotel or like a separate place to stay? But in the profile, it says you will have a bed, a wardrobe, and a desk. That's probably the words exactly. You have a bed, a wardrobe, and a desk. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, and then like, you know, of course, I'm giving my 40 hours a week or whatever time to have the food and the dresser, the wardrobe, and the bed. So I'm in contact with this person, you know, being very comprehensive, like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm looking for in the experience. And they're like, great, this is what we can offer. These are some of the philosophies and some of the principles that we hold close here at the studio. So I'm like, okay, this is great. I didn't have any weird feelings about it. The guy seemed pretty nice, and I was just like, okay, this is going to be great. You know, things are falling together. So fast forward to January, and it's time to go. Well, February, it's time to go. I leave in February. So fast forward to February, it's time to go. And I go to Cuba first, and I'm just like chilling there. That's where I start my whole trip. But then I go to Holland. In this time, February, and as most of you Dutch people know, it's carnival time for that area of the country. Like, carnival is this huge thing. So I arrived the week of carnival. So things are shut down. Nothing's really open. Like, it's a holiday. Everybody's party. Which is cool because I got to experience carnival in Holland, which is like another story time. Blackface. It's another story time, but I got to experience that, and you know, I got to actually have some fun before my volunteering experience started. So I saw it that way. And don't get mad at me. Anyway, so I get to the city that I'm supposed to be in, right? Maastricht's beautiful, everything's going great. I get there, I meet up with the volunteer coordinator, and he's waiting for me at the station. Hello, we do our greetings, like, so happy to be here, I'm ready to volunteer, I'm so excited, looking forward to this. You know, this is the beginning of my trip. I'm very, like, optimistic, but stupid. Optimistic, but stupid. So, we do our little greetings, and we're walking back to his place. Guys, I'm stupid. I know, I'm stupid. I would never do this again. So then we're walking back to his place, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And he was like, oh, this is gonna be weird. And I was like, why do you, like, dude, what? Why is it gonna be weird? And he was like, you know, we're gonna be like in the same space, not gonna have much privacy. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I have a bed, a dresser, and a desk. And he's like, you know, we're gonna be in the same room together. And I was like, no. Like, straight up told him right then. I was just like, I'm not sharing this, like, a room with you. That's out. This dude is like, I want to say he's in his late 40s, early 50s at the most. So I was like, no, not sharing a bed with you. Just straight up. I wasn't even gonna BS. I was just like, I'm not sharing a room with you. And he was just like, okay, yeah, I understand. And I was like, good, I'm glad we got that out the way. But at the same time, I'm kind of like mad because, like, why didn't you say, like, you only have one bed, one desk, one wardrobe? So we get to his place, and, you know, everything's all set up, nice. You could tell he was definitely expecting me. And he's like, okay, this is where you'll stay. You put your stuff here, and the dresser's here. You can go ahead and unpack your things or whatever. If you're hungry, I'm going to make some lunch real quick. And then, you know, we can go out and go ride a bike or go see the city. And I was like, cool. So he, after I told him, like, I'm not staying in the same bed with you, he's like, okay, that's fine. You know, I have a separate bedroom. I have like a office, and the office had like one of those couches, like, it was like a leather couch, but like one of those like really squishy leather couches. He was like, yeah, no problem, I'll stay there. And I was like, okay, like, great, I'm glad we figured this out. So then we go out and we celebrate Carnival, and he's showing me, like, you know, this is, you know, this building, this was built in 18 whatever. This city used to be like a big fort, and this is like part of the old fort. He was like really showing me the city. He's very like knowledgeable in the history, and I was like, I really appreciated all of it. But still mad about this whole bed situation, because like, you weren't being very direct or honest about it. Like, you should have said, I only have a 1-bedroom apartment or something. Don't tell people they're gonna have their own this or own that. So we go out, and we're like seeing the city, and Carnival's fun, and I'm like watching all the people go crazy. So everything was good for about a week. You know, like I said, the holiday was still going on, so many things were not open until like the following week. So we are just seeing, you know, different parts of the city. We even went to Belgium to go see part of Brussels, because I wanted to see, like, you know, other parts of Europe. And he was gracious enough to like kind of like educate me on the EU. It was a very nice like time. I learned a lot. But then he was just kind of acting a little bit weird, like just very like in my space. Whenever he would talk, I'd be like, oh, so like, what's this building? And he'd be like, it's the blah, 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 blah. And it's like, back up. Like, first of all, and I used to go like, you don't have to get that close when you talk to me. I would say that. He was like, oh, sorry. And it's like, it's cool, just don't do it another time, you know? I was like, it's fine, just don't do it again, you know, because it's making me uncomfortable. You're in my face. you know, besides the fact that we look like an odd pair, you know, I'm this young black girl and you're this old white man showing me around the city. Like, first of all, I already feel like people have the wrong idea, but and then furthermore, you're in my face. So we're going around the city, and like when we're on the bus to Belgium, or on the way back, I just wanted to put my headphones in, listen to a podcast, kind of just unwind. I had been with this dude all day. He's talking to me about all the buildings and all that stuff. Like, after a while, you have enough with some people. You're just like, all right, I just want to chill, listen to my music, reflect, write, whatever. So I sat on the row in front of him on the bus, and he sat in the row back because he had tried to sit next to me, and I was like, hey, just sit behind me because I'm just trying to chill. And he was just like, oh, okay, no problem. And when we get home that night, I'm super tired, like just ready to go to bed. We're still sleeping in separate rooms at this time. And he's like, I just want to bring it to your attention, like, you know, if this is supposed to be like workaway experience, I want to actually like enjoy time together. And I was sitting there thinking, like, did I sign up to be your girlfriend? Like, is that what this is? And I was just like, okay, I feel what you're saying, but like, this is why I wanted to sit by myself. No shade, but like, you also got to respect that we was talking all day. Like, chill, I'm an introvert. So we had that conversation, and most of the time when we're at home or when we're at his house, we're like having conversations about life, like, oh, I love reading this book, or have you seen this movie, or, you know, did you know this, or did you know that? So we're not just like going about our separate ways. Like, we're talking pretty much 24/7. So at this point on the bus, like, it really shouldn't have been a big deal because like we had been talking and interacting a lot. So when he said that, I was just like, what do you mean? 'Cause he even said, and it was just this was a weird way of him saying it. He was like, you know, I want to sit together on the bus. I want to see the same things you see. I want to see this, you know, I want to be in the same space as you are. And I was sitting there thinking, no, like, what? We on the same bus, dude. That's enough. That's enough. You feel me? You're getting a little weird. So I think after that, because I was so tired, I was just like, I'm going to go to sleep. Like, see you tomorrow. It seemed like he understood where I was coming from too. So we wake up the next day and we're gonna like plan our day around like, I don't know, going to the countryside or something, or like going to ride bikes or something. And every morning he was kind enough to like make breakfast and like fresh squeezed orange juice. Like, it was a really nice gesture. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, I should have just been like, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Like, you don't got to do all that. But, you know, he did. And I asked him, I was like, so, dude, like, okay, I didn't say dude, but I was like, okay, so, like, you know, I've been here for about a week. Would you like to sleep in your bed? Like, I didn't come here to make you feel uncomfortable. I came just to get this experience at the studio. And, like, I don't even mind. I was like, I can sleep, like, on a yoga mat on the floor. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm young. It is what it is. And he was like, I don't really want to have that conversation. Like, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. But I still kind of felt like, oh, I feel bad because I'm like, I just stole this man's bed. He thought we were going to share a bed, but that is not happening under any circumstances. I don't care if I'm having a seizure. Do not get in the same bed as me. So he's like, I don't want to have the conversation. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll just keep staying in the bed and you will stay in the other room. If it's not that big of a deal to you, it's not that big of a deal to me. I just wanted to check in and make sure, like, you're comfortable. Because, you know, older people, their backs might not be fit to sleep on a couch or something. Like, it is what it is. So I checked in with him. He said he didn't want to talk about it. So he said he didn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, all right. So whenever it's time, I guess we will. So time goes on. You know, I'm getting the pint-sized traveler all set up. I'm telling him about it, like just writing and getting all excited. And that's what I'm doing in my free time. whenever we're just hanging out. And one day, he pulls out some weed. And I'm like, first of all, I get this is Holland, but like, don't be pulling weed out. That's just like, I'm not used to that. I don't know why you thought I would want to even partake. Like, relax. So he puts it away because I'm like, no, thank you. Like, it's good. Like, but if you want to, feel free. It's your house. It's your life. You do what you want, but I'm good. So I was just like, all right, this is weird. Anyway. So that was one situation. I was just like, okay, this dude is like not fully like mature, I guess. Like maybe he's having some type of like crises. And then one time we went grocery shopping because we pretty much were like cooking at home and we weren't like eating out every day. So one day we went out grocery shopping and I picked out a couple things that I liked, and I was like, yeah, I can share like a meal that I would have at home with you, and you know, you can cook one of your favorite meals one day, and you know, we can share the responsibilities of cooking lunch, dinner, and all that stuff. So then one day I'm in the kitchen and I'm just making a small snack because I think we had just got back from driving to like Belgium or something like that to go to another like special like market. I can't remember what had happened that day, but we had a little period of just rest. So I was cutting up a little bit of radish, and he had never tried it before. And I was like, oh yeah, this is one of my favorite snacks. I love just rolling it up in some seaweed and some rice and just eating it. It's like really good and it's healthy for you. So I'm cutting up the radish, and then I pick up like just like a small cube, and I'm like going to put it in his hand. And I think I had my hand like this actually, because I was going to drop it in his hand, or I can't remember how I was holding my hand, but I just kind of held it out because I was like just gonna give it to him in his hand. This dude literally lowers his head and puts my fingers in his mouth. I was so taken aback. I was like, ew. I looked at him, I was like, ew. And then I just started washing my hands. Like, I was just like, why did you do that? And he was just acting very surprised, as if I was like tripping for even being disgusted by it. Like, look at the situation here. You're like a 50-year-old dude. I'm like 23 at the time. And you don't think that's weird? Like, you couldn't just put it in your hand and eat it out of your own hand like a regular person? I don't think I'm tripping right now. That was nasty. So I'm washing my hands in front of this dude to let him know, like, that was not cool. That was disgusting. I don't know where your mouth has been. You're doing a lot. And I was just like, all right, that's like strike number 534. But I'm stupid too, right? I'm stupid. Then we're having this is another day, like a separate day. Gosh, I mean, it really wasn't that long that I was at this house. It's probably like we were there for like it was just 1 week, but all this stuff has happened in 1 week. So it was another evening where I'm just writing or reading or something like that, just winding down, and he brings up like how if you want, like if you're comfortable, you know, feel free to like, you know, walk around naked. And I was like, why? And he was just telling me like, you know, Dutch people, like we're not very like judgmental about stuff like that. That's very natural. That's just how we do in Dutch culture. And I was just like, well, that's fine. And I'm glad you're sharing, but I'm not going to do that. I don't really see the point in why I would do that. Like, there's a bathroom, there's enough space for me to change into what I got to do. Like, it's not causing me no trouble to not walk around naked. Like, why would you even bring that up? And I was just like, okay, this dude is doing too much. And if you walking around here naked, I'm definitely going to have a problem with that, because I do not want to see that. I do not want to see you naked. So, And then I'm thinking, like, you're saying this is the way the Dutch live, but I ain't never heard this, and I don't believe it. So I think it was that night, and we had said our goodnights, and I was like, good night, Mark. You know, oop. I just said his name. Oops. I was like, good night. You know, I'm tired. I think I sleep. Just did a whole bunch of writing, you know, all this stuff. And he was like, okay. So then, you know, we retreat into our own separate quarters. He goes into the office. I'm in the bedroom, and I turn the light off, go to bed, all that stuff. And then, this is the scary part about it. It's like, it was at this moment that you thought it would be okay to come in and have the conversation about the bed. So he comes in the room, it's dark. I'm thinking everybody's like settling down for the evening. And he's like, would it be okay if I slept in the bed tonight? And I was like, no. I'm like creeped out, like, dude, first of all, turn the light on. This is weird. This is scary. And he's like, okay. He's like, I don't see why it's a problem. And I'm like, well, I'm not comfortable with it. Like, there's nothing you can say to make me feel comfortable with the fact that you're trying to sleep in the same bed as me. We're not related. We're not romantic. I'm your volunteer. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing about the situation that would ever make me say, okay, this is all right. And he was just like, all right, well, we're going to have a talk about this. And I was just like, okay. And at this point, I was like, tomorrow morning, I'm out of here. I'm done. This is too much. Like, the radish in the mouth, I want to see what you see, and I want to feel what it was just like, this is like the time to leave, Brie. You keep questioning it, and I think you need to listen to your intuition. Like, you want to be really like part of me wasn't wanting to accept that this is how my trip was starting, you know? So I was like, sometimes you have to take that L and keep it moving. Like, this is ridiculous. So I had already decided, like, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I'm out. So I wake up the next morning, and he comes in. He's like, good morning. And I'm like, good morning. Still a little weirded out. Like, what's up? Let's have the talk now, because I've been trying to have this talk with you. And he's like, well, I think you need to leave. And I was like, wait, no. He didn't say I think you need to leave. He was like, so, like, what's the problem with me sleeping in bed with you? I'm sitting thinking, like, I didn't want to say, you're old and nasty. I was just like, I'm just not comfortable sleeping in a bed with somebody somebody like you. I'm just not. That's disgusting to me. I'm not going to be able to, like, close my eyes at night. And, like, no. So he proceeds to say, well, it's normal. Everybody does it. And I'm like, no, everybody does not do that. And then he's like, well, in Southeast Asia, like, where a lot of people are traveling, it's normal. Everybody does it. Like, you're the one that's being weird about it. And I'm like, it's cool if everybody else does it, but I don't do that. Me, Bria, I don't do that. So then he proceeds to say, and this part just tripped me out. He proceeded to say, how will you ever know anything about men? And I'm sitting here thinking, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Because he even said before, like, during this conversation, like, it's nothing romantic. It's not like I'm trying to make a move on you, blah, 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 blah. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you have to say all that to convince me to sleep in the same bed with you, you're trying to make a move on me. You're trying to be weird. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to do that. So he asked me, how will you ever know anything about men? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? What do you mean? So I'm like, all right. I said, I'm leaving. We ain't got to talk about this anymore. You can have your bed back. I've offered to sleep on a yoga mat on the floor. I've offered to sleep in the office. I've exhausted my options. And he proceeds to say to me, "You're not who I thought you were." Yo, it tripped me out. I was like, yo, I came here to learn about yoga. I came here to learn about how to be a massage therapist at your studio, at your family business. I did not come here to be your girlfriend. I did not come here to sleep in the same bed with you. Why are you saying that I'm not who you thought I was? We never talked about any of that. We never agreed on me being any type of romantic interest for you. Is that what you're trying to solicit on the internet? A romantic interest? A girlfriend? Because that's not it. That's not me. And he was telling me, like, I've had volunteers in the past who have done it. That's not me. I'm not your volunteer in the past. We're not doing that. So then I was just like, yep, I'm out. This is it. This is the end of the road, because clearly, even if we do decide, like, we're going to have separate sleeping arrangements, I'm just not feeling the situation. The holiday is over now, and I didn't even get to start at the yoga studio. I didn't even get to start at the yoga studio because you just made me feel that uncomfortable that quick. So I said, yep, I packed up all my stuff last night, so I'm out this morning. And he was like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, yep, it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be fine. So then I had already booked my little stay at a hostel nearby. I was like, it's no problem. I'm meant for these types of problems. I can just figure this one out. No problem. So then I get to the hostel. He shows me where it's at, how to get there. I'm like, cool, thanks. Because he even tried to give me all these, like, small little gifts. Like, I want you to take this before you leave. Here's breakfast. Go ahead and eat that. And I'm like, no. I said, don't do another thing for me. I got my stuff together. I'm waiting on a taxi to come pick me up or whatever. And he was like, no, don't take no taxi. I'll show you how to get there from here. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. But let that be the last thing you do for me, because I don't need breakfast. I don't even trust, that I'm going to make it out of here safely, because I'm scared at this point. The fact that you felt like I didn't give you enough options of what I could do or what we could do to make this situation comfortable for the both of us, I was just like, I'm done. Although I should have been done a long time ago, right? So we go to our little, we're about to go our separate ways. And he says, well, if you change your mind, you're always welcome to come back. And I'm like, change my mind? I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not sleeping in the same bed with you. Like, why are you so insistent on me sleeping in the same bed with you? Why? If you're not trying to make a move on me, if you're, what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? So, that was it. And he was just like, I wish you the best. And I was just like, get away. Like, I don't wish you the best. Like, I didn't say I don't wish you the best. I was just like, thanks for everything. Peace. Bye. And that is where we, ended the story. So then I get a series of emails and messages of like, after this, sorry. So after all of this, and I got out of the situation safely, I'm safe and sound, just living my life again, I leave a review on the dude's profile. He is a workaway host, and he is also, so he was a workaway host, and he was also a couch surfing host. And I knew that because he told me that he also did couch surfers, and they slept in the same bed with him, and it was fine. Like, why didn't And so I went on both of his little profiles, and I was like, this is what happened. This dude is not supposed to be on these websites. He's a predator, low key. Like, not even low key. He's a predator. So I put it on his profile, like, trying to warn other people before they're put in a situation like I was. So maybe 24 hours later, maybe 2 days later, I can't even remember, I get a series of emails saying that I am, like, evil, and that I'm, like, trying to, like, ruin his life, and that I'm, like, planting bad seeds of, like, I don't know. Like, he goes and says that I'm doing all of these, like, evil things. But really, I'm just like, I'm actually trying to help other people to stay away from people like you that are trying to lure them into a scary situation. Or somebody, you know, who has hopes of being a yoga teacher gets lured into this situation too. So I get these emails, and I think, what did I do? I think I just deleted them because I was like, this dude is not even worth another second of my time. But I left my little reviews, and I was like, he can't delete them, he can't do anything. So Workaway responded, right? And they were like, thanks for letting us know. We took his profile down. And I was like, oh, thank God, like, thank you. And Couchsurfing, I reached out to them, and I was like, yo, this dude needs to have no, like, access to this website. He's doing something super, super sketch. And Couchsurfing was like, well, because it happened on another platform, you can't, you know, report that here. And I was just like, what? He's the same individual. Like, you can still be put in the same situation on a different platform. So Couchsurfing didn't take any action against the dude. His profile is still out there. But I did leave a super long novel about everything I'm talking about right now. So people can still stay with him if they want, but they're going to see my review on there. And if they decide to ignore it, then that's on them. However, my review is up there and on his profile for people to see. So that was the most I could do on that platform. Which, like, I understand Couchsurfing, but, like, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. So after I left, and he's even sent me all these, like, emails or whatever, he proceeds to, like, add me on every social media you can think of. Like, Facebook, Instagram. He's, like, contacting me through my website. That's how he was able to email me. So, it was just a lot. So after a while, I was like, I don't feel safe in the same city as this guy. Like, I just can't. So I ended up leaving and finding another workaway experience at a restaurant/hotel, and it was cool. It was fine until it wasn't, but I wasn't in a dangerous situation. It was just, like, not that fun. But yeah, that was a scary, scary situation. And if I could go back, I would do things so differently if I could. But I'm just so glad, by the grace of God, that I got out of there safely. Because that could have went so, so wrong. So wrong. And I even, like, while I was in the situation, I was sending people the details of where I was. Like, I wasn't, like, just acting like I was, like, in a fine situation. I was just like, yo, this person's acting weird. Here's who I am. Like, here's what he looks like. Here's his, you know, the address, his contact. If something crazy happens or whatever, here is the evidence. But yeah, I got out of there, and it was just like, it was also like a scarring situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just even the fact that he put his mouth on my fingers has, like, been etched in my memory forever. And I'm just like, it just kills me how many men take advantage of the female traveler. Like, that situation really opened up my eyes to how many women are probably put in situations that they're not 100% comfortable with because they are either, like, trying to just get to a certain point or just trying to get to a certain place. It just kills me. And I really wish both men and women and just people in general would stop taking advantage of other people, you know? So I wasn't able to complete the workaway experience, though that's what it was supposed to be. But it really, like, affected the way that I traveled after that. And it's only by God's grace that I got out. All right, let me put this mascara on. You live and you learn. And I did what I had to do to avoid putting somebody else in the situation. And I'm glad that my pride didn't get in the way and I wasn't keeping that type of information to myself, because someone very well could be put in the same situation if I didn't speak up. And I've noticed, like, over time, less and less people stay with that guy on couchsurfing. Like, before, a lot of people stayed with him, and now it's like nobody does. And I was like, you know what? It's probably because your review of the guy and, you know, how weird he was. So good job, Brie. Good job. Good on you. All right, y'all. I'm done with my makeup. I just need to put on a little chapstick. This is the complete look. All right, y'all. So, like I said, don't tell me how stupid I am in the comments. I know. And like, comment, subscribe for more story times. I have so many stories. A lot are really good, but some of them are like really bad, like this story. And I will see you guys in my next video. Holla, bye.